went into Jacob's well and reached the third chamber where the small hole was located. Richard removed his tank to get
I had to calm myself down. I had to calm myself down. And today we got the most painful cave deaths ever. I'm going to do my absolute best to not be squeamish during this video. But have y'all seen, like, not even the actual videos, but the animated remakes of these dudes getting stuck in these tiny ass holes? I'm gonna try. I just don't know why. You could do any other hobby, bro. You could play golf. It still involves holes. Like, do that instead, bro. Like, I don't know. But we just gonna get straight into it. You already know the vibes. 1 curse, 3 push-ups. Let's get it going.
1967, and 10 cavers were about to enter Mossdale Cavern to help clear some of the deeper passages and map them out. The 2 leaders of the group had already explored this cave before, which reassured everyone else. This particular cavern was known for its tight spaces.
No, the second I have to get on all fours to go through the cave, I'm out, bro. I'm not about to let no cave put me in doggy, bro. The second it goes from walking to, like, I think the lowest I'll get, like, I'll go from here to here. I'll cave dive like this. But the second I have to go like that, no, like, gang, let's go rock climbing instead, bro. And, like, what do you gain? Yeah, I went to the, like, imagine going up to a shorty. Yeah, I went to the deepest crevice of old man's left toe. Okay? Like, you're not getting no diamonds. You're not leaving with no iron, no gold. You ain't see no skeletons. Like, you gain nothing. I just don't get it. Even rock climbing is different because rock climbing, at least you get to see the view of the top of the mountain. Cave diving, you just see a crevice. If I wanted to do that, I'd go to a gay bar.
And the very few areas where a person could fully stand. After a few hours inside, 4 of the cavers realized how difficult the cave actually was and decided to return to the surface. They noticed a cloudy sky, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The remaining cavers continued their descent until they reached the far marathon passage,
Heck no.
which measured only 18 inches by 12 inches, with a small stream of water flowing along the bottom.
Absolutely
Everything seemed to be going well, and the group on the surface
18 inches by 12 inches? Oh my God.
soon noticed that it had started raining, so they took cover. Initially, the rain did not seem concerning, but the cavers inside began to notice rising water levels.
No.
When the water became alarmingly high, they decided to end the day's work and head back, even though they were still 3 hours from the entrance. Meanwhile,
You were diving in a cave for 3 hours. Why? Why? I could get from Austin to Houston in that amount of time. Like, dude, I don't even like mining in a cave for that much time on Minecraft, dude. Goodness gracious.
the surface group spotted something terrifying. A lake of water had formed around the cave's entrance. The cavers inside had no idea how much water was about to flood the cave. The surface group ran to get help, while the cavers frantically tried to reach higher chambers. However, the water continued to rise, pressing toward their faces. Rescuers and hundreds of volunteers worked tirelessly, pumping water out of the cave and pumping oxygen inside, hoping that the cavers had found a safe chamber. Unfortunately, every one of the cavers drowned.
And drowning is literally the worst way to go, bro. Oh my
Shaft
God.
sinkhole tragedy. It was May 28, 1973, and a group of 9 diving experts had planned a dive at Mount Gambier's shaft.
They digging in it. All right, bro.
Sinkhole. This sinkhole had a unique feature. There was only a tiny opening leading to a cave with a lake 20 feet below. From this opening, a beam of light went down into the cave and onto the lake, which was extremely helpful for the divers' orientation. This beam was visible throughout most of the cave, unless divers ventured too deep into one of the 2 side branches.
And of course they did, huh?
Everyone initially agreed that they would stay within a 200
Just hear the name. Yeah, shaft sinkhole. Like, bro, I'm good. That sounds like a Mario Kart level, bro.
100-foot maximum depth range, so they could remain in the main chamber and still see the guiding light. This was their only plan. On the second day, however, 4 divers planned to go to the western section of the cave, aiming for a depth of 200.
¿Por qué?
150 feet, which would have been a new record. This was deeper than initially intended and posed a significant risk because in 1973, divers were still using regular air cylinders rather than mixed gas tanks. For this reason, they had to be more cautious as they went downwards because nitrogen narcosis might have settled in. As
Nitrogen narcosis, I don't know what that means.
they went down, the increasing pressure would have pushed the nitrogen into the bloodstream, producing a state of consciousness that is similar to when people are drunk. Keep in mind that these divers were not very experienced in cave diving. They were more accustomed to standard open water scuba diving. This added even more risk to their plan. They started going downwards into the western section of the cave, and one experienced diver noticed that nitrogen narcosis was kicking in, so he immediately went back out. Several of them followed him and went back to the surface as well, but 4 of them kept going.
Okay. It's like, come on, bro. Use your noggin. Use your noggin. If an experienced diver is like, oh shoot, I'm tripping, let me dip. Who do you think you are to continue going down?
Determined to set the record and get a quick look before resurfacing. After a minute or so, the group at the surface became concerned, realizing the 4 divers would soon exhaust their air supply. A few returned to the cave to find them, and they discovered a flashlight and a camera on the bottom, but no trace of the divers. There was a problem that we haven't yet mentioned: silt. The movements of the 4 divers stirred up the long settled silt into a sand cloud that would take a lot of time to settle back. This reduced visibility to less than an arm's length, removing any hope for orientation for the
Oh, so they can't even find their way back up because they can't see the sun.
Underwater divers. Without being able to see anything, oxygen running dangerously low, and nitrogen narcosis kicking in, the 4 divers drowned. Jacob's Well tragedy. It's November 23rd, 1983, and 2 students from Texas State University named
Oh, shoot. What the hell?
Richard and Clark are about to enter Jacob's Well, an underwater hole that leads to an underwater cave. This hole seems relatively shallow, around 25 feet, and many people try to touch the bottom and then come up. However, this is just a deceiving appearance because it actually leads to another underwater cave with 3 chambers. The first 2 are...
I just know, off rip, I'm already knowing someone's dumbass took themselves right here. You know what? Let me, that's a curse. Someone went right here in this tiny crevice. I'm already
relatively open and easy to get through.
We gonna start predicting where they die. I think right here. I think right here is where they die.
But the third one has a really small squeeze to
right here.
To get into it. If you manage to squeeze through, you'll enter a room that is 10 feet tall, and you'll see a really small hole at the farthest edge, too small to pass through. This small tunnel was just 2 feet in diameter, and 2 years prior, 2 people died in it because after they managed to get through, a rock slide filled with gravel blocked them inside.
Why?
Now, getting back to our 2 students, they were fairly experienced in normal diving, but not in cave diving, and they were trying to get their instructor certification in open water diving. Their instructor, Don, was an incredibly skilled and experienced diver, and he was the one who removed the 2 bodies we just talked about. He used to constantly warn everybody to stay away from Jacob's Well since it's deadly, and he even tried to cover up the small hole that leads to the 4th chamber.
Having to cover up the hole because people keep going into the hole and dying is crazy. It's crazy. If this closet door had the Babadook in it, and I keep telling people, yo, don't go in there, you're gonna die, and people keep doing it, if I have to put a padlock on the door, I would get tight, because it's like, bro, the Babadook is in there. Don't go in there. Play pickleball or something. Find a different hobby.
Cement. But other divers reopened it and left a message that said, "You can't keep us out." Don himself,
"You can't keep us out." For sure. No, for sure. For sure.
Almost died in Jacob's Well. When he tried to enter the 4th chamber, a gravel slide trapped him in the tunnel. He almost resigned
Same thing. Same thing that happened to those other people, by the way. Same thing.
Himself to death. His tank was empty, and he had swallowed some water when his survival instinct kicked in, and he started rapidly moving until he cleared enough gravel to escape. When he did, he saw his diving colleague extending a regulator for him to breathe. As he started resurfacing, the air inside his body expanded until he reached almost 4 times his normal body size. By the
Oh my God.
the time he broke the surface, he was screaming in pain. His belly was huge because his stomach had completely ruptured.
Oh my God.
These stories caught the attention of Richard and Clark, who wanted to take a look for themselves.
This video is gonna make me scream. This video is gonna make me scream. If you don't know, YouTube watchers, my voice is gone and I'm doing a whole stream without screaming. This is gonna make me scream. A man literally went in the cave, got so cooked that his stomach extended to 4 times the size that it was because it ruptured. He's out here looking like Kirby. And you hear that and go, oh, let me try it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Unrelated, what is the race of these individuals? Well, they're drawn pretty accurately, Tyler.
Even though they didn't really know much about cave diving. On November 23rd, 1983, they went into Jacob's well and reached the third chamber where the small hole was located. Richard removed his tank to get
I had to calm myself down. Bro.
through the hole and started going in while holding his tank. When Clark
Did you just say I made a chicken? Fuck you, bro. That nigga said I made a chicken. Shut up.
removed his own oxygen tank and tried to get in, he saw Richard's face and noticed Richard
Duh. Like, come on, bro.
didn't have the tank with him anymore and was suffocating. Clark
Duh.
quickly reached for the regulator and gave it to him, letting him breathe again. They started passing the regulator back and forth as they made their way out, and somehow they managed to get through the tight squeeze of the third chamber. They then began making their way toward the exit until a terrifying sound caught their attention, a clank from their oxygen tank. Not only did this mean they'd hit a wall with the tank,
They went down the other part of it, huh? They went up the other
so
part
they
of
were
it.
going the wrong direction, but it also meant the tank was almost empty. They realized they'd run
Yep.
into the
What did we
false
learn?
chimney in the first chamber, a tunnel that looks like it leads to the surface, but is actually a dead end. Clark managed to swim back to the surface and gasped for air after covering an incredible 75 feet in a single breath. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Richard, who remained behind and drowned. When Clark called the police for assistance, Don the instructor himself showed up and was stunned to see his students there. Gollum's Cave. It's August 18th, 2005, and a group of 5
Oh, shit, I was 5 years old. I had just turned 5.
friends decided to venture into the Gollum Cave, also Cave of Death.
Cave of Death. Cueva de los Muertes. What are you doing, bro?
Because of how dangerous it was. They reached the entrance at 3 a.m., and one of the friends decided to wait for the others
Cueva de la Muerte. Thank you.
outside. They encountered their first problem when actually trying to get in, as they had to crawl through a small pool of water. After that, there was a fork going left and right, and
That's Scooby-Doo as Velma. You go left, we'll go right. What? Come on,
they chose
bro.
left, which led them to another small pool of water. This seemingly innocent pool, however, actually led to another section of the cave through an underwater tunnel. The tunnel itself was really small, just 3 to 4 feet in diameter, and to get through it, you had to be completely submerged. This meant only one person at a time could go in, and they had to swim about 15 feet. One by one, they started plunging into the pool of water to reach the other side of the cave, and once they made it, they discovered a section with about 3 feet of airspace. From the perspective of the friend who stayed outside, there was no sound or light coming from inside the cave, and after a while he started to get worried. He went into the cave himself, but heard no noises and saw no lights. Not sure what to do, he first called some friends who had
Yeah, I'd be terrified. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If Tyler, Stanley, and AO go into a cave and then I'm outside, which is what would happen. I'm not going in that cave. And then I don't hear from them and I go into the cave and hear nothing, I'm going to just start lying. I'll be like, I'm going to just start being like, all my dead homies, this, that, that. You just gave me the ability to do that because I'm not saving you.
experience with caving, and then called the police. He couldn't have imagined what was happening inside. The 4 friends who went in probably realized that the 3 feet of airspace they'd reached had bad air, which is a term cavers use for air that doesn't have the normal balance of gases, meaning there's more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. This reduces your ability to think, move, and breathe properly, making the return swim through that narrow tunnel super risky. They tried to get back out one at a time, but the first person who went underwater was unable to find the exit hole before running out of breath. That happened because the increased carbon dioxide
Right, he's already out of breath.
messed with her ability to hold her breath and think clearly. After 30 to 60 seconds, the second person went in and found the first one, and so on, until all of them got stuck in the tunnel. The police arrived and tried to pump in oxygen and pump out
Nope, just pumping an ambulance, bro. Just pumping an ambulance, bro. They done. Only me and AO would survive. Y'all too tall. Don't even say y'all. I'm not going in there. And Tyler, what you mean? You 6'4", bro. Tyler, you're 6'4", bro. Stop fucking it up, nigga. I sent baddies your way, nigga. You're 6'4", bro. You're gonna die, bro.
Water, while family and friends waited anxiously outside the cave. Unfortunately, it was all in vain. The bodies were later recovered, and the cave was eventually closed off with cement.
The fact that they have to close off the cave because these people keep going in them and dying is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
If you want to
bro.
discuss this video or suggest an idea for
Gang. 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 Like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Rest in peace to those who died, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. Do better. Hey, man, that's going to be my reaction. Hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you on the next one. That's going to be it. Peace.